Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Xana K. I hope that you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can. And today we're going to be looking at this highly anticipated probable cause affidavit. Of course, Eric Payne is employed by the Moscow Police Department in the official capacity or position of Corporal CPL and has been a trained and qualified peace officer for approximately 4 years. CPL Payne is being assisted by members of the Idaho State Police and agents of the FBI. On November 13th, 2022 at approximately 4 p.m., the Moscow... Okay, sorry if I'm reading fast. Slow down. On November 13th, 2022 at approximately 4 p.m., the Moscow Police Department, Sergeant Blaker and I responded to 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, hereafter the King Road residence, to assist with scene security and processing of a crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police ISP forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin processing the scene. MPD Officer OFC Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. OFC Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. OFC Smith and I then walked upstairs to the second floor. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's, hereafter Kernodle room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. Now, if we've seen all the walkthroughs we've done of the house, I'm sure you're visualizing it like me, right? As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Okay, so one more time. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin, hereafter Chapin, and Chapin was also deceased with wounds later determined, autopsy report provided by Spokane. Thank you so much. The docket's putting our watermark on here. County medical examiner dated December 15, 2022 to be caused by sharp force injuries. I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves, hereafter Goncalves' room. I later learned from review of Officer Nunez's body camera that there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. So now we know where Murphy was, in Kaylee's room. Wow, okay. The dog belonged to Goncalves and her ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCoeur. I found out from my interview with Jack DeCoeur on November 13, 2022, that he and Goncalves shared the dog. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Madison Mogen's, hereafter Mogen bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. There you go. I make it nice and big for you guys. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. In the single bed in the room. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Both Goncalves and Mogen were deceased with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed right next to Mogen's right side when viewed from the door. And that's what we were wondering. You know, is this how they knew it was a K-bar knife? Oh my word. As I entered the bedroom one more time, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. Both Goncalves and Mogen were deceased with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed right next to Mogen's side when viewed from the door. The sheath was later processed and had K-bar, USMC, and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA. Suspect profile. Ooh, there it is, you guys. Wow. Just gotta pause that for like 1 second. What? Sure. Okay. The Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA suspect profile left on the button snap of the knife sheath. Like this guy, what a dumbass, right? As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included BF and DM. Both BF and DM, so that would be the surviving roommates, were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides and were roommates to the victims. BF's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor of the King Road residence. Based on numerous interviews conducted by MPD officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I have learned the following. On the evening of November 12th, 2022, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by BF at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Perce Drive from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. BF also estimated that at approximately 1:45 a.m., Chapin and Kernodle returned to the King Road residence. BF also stated that Chapin did not live in the King Road residence, but was a guest of Kernodle. Okay, that we knew. Goncalves and Mogen were at a local bar, the Corner Club, 202 North Main Street in Moscow. Goncalves and Mogen can be seen on video footage provided by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. on November 12th and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At approximately 1:30 a.m., Goncalves and Mogen can be seen on video at a local food vendor called The Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street in downtown Moscow. The Grub Truck live streams video from their food truck on the streaming platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. This video was captured by law enforcement. Okay, this video was captured by law enforcement. I believe that Kaylee's sister gave it to them, but okay. A private party, redacted, reported that he provided a ride to Goncalves and Mogen at approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown Moscow in front of the Grub Truck to the King Road residence. DM and BF both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms, by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Wow. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. Again, this is like, that's what we were thinking. Is it on the second floor? Wow. What? You guys. Sorry, I'm taking myself. I'm here. I'm just off the screen so you can see it really nice and big. If you want me to be back on the screen, you just let me know. But I think we're okay, right? All right. Let me just say hi. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'll be at the bottom. Good. Okay. Sure. A DoorDash. And they said that these murders were between 3 and 4, but now they're saying the DoorDash was at 4 a.m. So let's carry on. Sure. Okay. A short time. Okay, wait. I'm just going to start that paragraph one more time. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. DM stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Goncalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Goncalves saying something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have also been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. DM stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. Damn. This is so crazy. It's like a little different to the timeline that we knew so far, just a tad, and even being able to hear Kaylee saying, "There's someone here." Wow. Okay. DM stated she opened the... Okay, so DM stated she looked out of her bedroom, but didn't see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." This is scary stuff, you guys. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1122 King Road. No, that says 1112, sorry. At approximately 4:17 a.m., and we've seen that one. It's the one right across, right? A security camera located at 1112 King Road. A residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times, starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Kernodle's bedroom. DM stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past DM as she stood in a frozen shock phase. Oh my word. That is just like, you guys, wait, we're going to need a sip of tea here. That trauma. The male walked past DM as she stood in a frozen shock phase. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. DM locked herself in her room after seeing the male. DM did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. So she saw him with a mask on and dressed all in black, and he just walked right past her. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is... I'm looking at your comments. Yes, it's even worse than we thought. I know, right? This is intense. I agree, Indie Girl. Thank you all for being here. The combination of DM's statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads of records from BF and DM's phone, and video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then aminoblack, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern, similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. So when we saw the body cam footage from earlier in the year, wow, so Dylan didn't live on the... If you face the front door, she didn't live in that bedroom on the right. She actually was on the second floor. Goodness, that's what was speculated. So, based on photos, right, that she shared on social media. And then the other roommate was on the bottom, on the left-hand side. If I read correctly, based on what they're saying. Okay, as part of the investigation, an extensive search commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvass was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022 in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect's vehicle, right? Traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other MPD officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. and westbound on Steiner Avenue at the Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appeared that suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1, starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Walenta Drive. Based off of my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. I just quickly want to check on everyone. Okay, let me slow it down just a little bit. There's lots of people here. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I'll slow down, you guys. I think I'm reading a bit fast because I'm like, what? Okay, we'll do it slowly. By the way, there's 19 pages of this, and we're on page 7. All right. So, are we ready to continue? Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Remember when they looked at the road and there were those tire marks, like as if someone had sped off like that? So it must be from that. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walenta Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. That I believe that suspect vehicle 1 likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. Palouse River Drive is the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. So they already knew, huh? The road leads to Pullman, Washington. Wow. PJ's and Messy Bun. That's right. Thank you for being here. Both Pullman and Moscow are small college towns, and people commonly travel back and forth between them. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspect vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with the FBI that regularly utilize surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of an unknown vehicle that is observed by one or more cameras during the commission of a criminal offense. The forensic examiner has approximately 35 years of law enforcement experience with 12 years at the FBI. His specific training includes identifying unique characteristics of vehicles, and he uses a database that gives visual clues of vehicles across states to identify differences between vehicles. After reviewing the numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Upon further review, he indicated it could also be a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. As a result, investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of a vehicle that is a 2011 to 2016 white Hyundai Elantra. Investigators were given access to video footage on the Washington State University campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicated that at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13th, 2022, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed on WSU surveillance cameras traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra, known as Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, towards SR 270. SR 270 connects Pullman, Washington to Moscow, Idaho. This camera footage from Pullman, Washington, was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. The forensic examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being a 2014 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. And as we know now, it's a 2015 Hyundai Elantra. At approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of Suspect Vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on WSU campus cameras. 5:25. Wow. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. Thank you, Alicia. Yes. No victim blaming. The white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white Elantra was observed on cameras traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. Depiction showing Moscow Pullman. Wow, that's a very dark little map. I can't see quite what's going on there, but it's just like, I think there's just little points here. Yes. I know we have to do some map time. I'm probably going to have to plot this all out and do it another time. I don't know if I could do it right now, but we'll have a look. I just want to read through all of this with you and see what's happening with that arraignment. Thank you for being here. Okay. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're going to be working to create some lengthy map times. You know I will. I want to get it right. So, okay. Depiction showing white Elantra's path of travel not to scale. It's really, this picture is so dark. Oh my word. Okay. We'll figure it out though, based on everything they said. What does it say? 1630 Northeast Valley Road, white Elantra seen returning to the campus. Oh, okay. You can see all these little red markers like that. Okay, so I'll be working on that later. You know what I'll be doing? A lot of map time, so I could bring it to you. On November 25th, 2022, MPD asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for white Hyundai Elantras in the area. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:28 a.m., Washington State University police officer Daniel Tiengo queried white Elantras registered at WSU. As a result of that query, he located a 2015 white Elantra with a Pennysylvania license plate LFZ. I don't know if you say Z or Z, you guys. Sure. LFZ or Z, however you say it, 8649. This vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger, hereafter Kohberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201, Pullman, Washington. 1630 Northeast Valley Road is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way, the last camera location that picked up the white Elantra. That same day at approximately 12:58 a.m., WSU officer Curtis Whitman was looking for white Hyundai Elantras and located a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman in the parking lot. Julie, I'm also wondering, where was he from 4:30 to 5:30, or is there a time zone? There actually isn't one there. It should be the same time zone between the two. It's only 10-minute time difference there. Very interesting. In the parking lot, okay, 1630 Northeast Valley Road is an apartment complex that houses WSU students. Officer Whitman also ran the car, and it returned to Kohberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Kohberger's WA state driver license information and photograph. This license indicates that Kohberger is a white male with a height of 6 foot and weighs 185 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Kohberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Kohberger's physical description is consistent with the description of the male that DM saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. Further investigation, including a review of Latah County Sheriff Deputies CPL Duke's body cam and reports, showed that on August 21, 2022, Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that we saw. Remember that? And that was quite close to the house as well. 1.7 miles, you guys. But he was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho by CPL Duke. At the time, Kohberger, who was the sole occupant, was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennysylvania plate LFZ8649, which was set to expire on November 30th, 2022. So therefore, it was already set to expire, right? This was in September when they stopped him, which is why people are saying maybe the license plate change wasn't abnormal. It was just time, you know? During the stop, which was recorded via a law enforcement body camera, Kohberger provided his phone number as, so they redacted that, ending in 8458, hereafter the 8458 phone, as his cellular telephone number. Investigators conducted electronic database queries and learned that the 8458 phone is a number issued by AT&T. Kathleen, you think like me here. It's like he may have been in the Arboretum hiding the weapon. He may have been. On October 14th, 2022, so that's a month before the murders, Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop by a WSU police officer. Upon review of that body cam and report of the stop, Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennysylvania plate LFZ8649. On November 18th, 2022, 5 days after the murders, according to WA state licensing, Kohberger registered the 2015 white Elantra with WA and later received a WA plate CFB8708. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate to be displayed. This was learned through communications with a Pennsylvania officer who is currently certified in the state of Pennsylvania. Based on my own experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plates to be displayed. Barbara, you say not the same time zone. Idaho has 2 time zones, and I believe Moscow, Idaho is the same time zone as Pacific time, correct? Let me know. Investigators believe that Kohberger is still driving the 2015 white Elantra because his vehicle was captured on December 13th, 2022 by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado, information provided by a query to a database. Kohberger's Elantra was then queried on December 15th, 2022 by law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana. On December 16th, 2022 at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video showed Kohberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was a white male whose description was consistent with Kohberger. Kohberger has family in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, learned through a TLO search and locate tool database inquiry. We're on page 12. Yes, it is Pacific, exactly. Moscow, Idaho is Pacific time. So, yes. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that has this, but I have a really great source that gets all the documents as they come out. So, maybe. Based on information provided on the WSU website, Kohberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Kohberger's past education included undergraduate degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. These records also showed that Kohberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Wow. It's like everything coming together here. He applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department. Kohberger wrote in his essay that he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Kohberger also posted a Reddit survey which can be found by an open source internet search. So that's what we've all been looking at. Jules says, so the guy talking on TT with inside info was right the entire time. Scary, huh? Okay, so to continue on, they say Kohberger also posted the Reddit survey, which we saw those questions. We've gone over that as well before. I hope you checked it out. The survey asked for participants to provide information to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision making when committing a crime. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilize cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence on November 13, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that Kohberger was associated to both the 2015 Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant returns. A query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show that the 8458 phone utilizing cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence between 3 and 5 a.m. That's the thing, you guys. Exactly. We, the public, only know 5% of what's really going on in the case, as we can see. I know it might feel like we know more, but at the time, but no, we're finding out a lot here today. So the phone, he doesn't seem to have taken that phone with him. Based on my training, experience, and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialize in the utilization of cellular telephone records as part of investigation, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their cell telephone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that a cell device associated with them was in a particular area where the crime is committed. I was wondering, I mean, this guy made so many mistakes that, thank you, he made so many mistakes that you would think he probably had his phone in his pocket or something. Not that we want criminals to do better, but you know what I mean. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will surveil an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of the crime. Depending on circumstances, this could be done a few days before or for several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it's possible that an individual would not leave their cellular telephone at a separate location or turn it off since they do not plan to commit the offense on that particular day. On December 23rd, 2022, I applied for and was granted a search warrant. Oh, this is going to be interesting. For historical phone records between November 12th, 2022 at 12 a.m. and November 14th at 12 a.m. for the 8458 phone held by the phone provider AT&T. Approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicides. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan Kohberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June 23, 2022. These records also included historical cell site location information for the 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with an FBI special agent that is certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, CAST. Members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical examinations prior to be certified with CAST, as well as the completion of yearly certification requirements. Additionally, the FBI CAST SA that I consulted with has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 years with the FBI. From the information provided by CAST, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from November 12th, 2022 to November 13th, 2022, the time period authorized by the court. On November 13th, 2022, at approximately 2:42 a.m., The 8458 phone was utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington, hereafter the Kohberger residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage southeast of the Kohberger residence, consistent with the 8458 phone, leaving the Kohberger residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in an area without cell coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or that the phone is turned off. The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to ID State Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesee. Between 4:50 a.m. and 5:26 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on ID State Highway 95 to Genesee, Idaho, then traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back into Pullman, Washington. At approximately 5:30 a.m., the 8458 phone is utilizing resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington, and consistent with the phone traveling back to the Kohberger residence. The 8458 phone's movements are consistent with the movements of the white Elantra that is observed traveling north on Stadium Drive at approximately 5:27 a.m. Based on a review of the 8458 phone's estimated locations and travel, the 8458 phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Elantra. So, man, not only did they have the white Elantra's travels and all the cameras capturing it, but then also to pair it with the phone, wow. Further review indicated that the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022 that are consistent with the 8458 phone leaving the area of the Kohberger residence at approximately 9 a.m. and traveling to Moscow, Idaho. Specifically, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. I'm just going to read that one more time for myself here. Just hold on. Okay. The 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of the Kohberger residence and arriving to the area at approximately 9:32 a.m. So he went back. But this was on November 13th, right? So you remember when we saw that white car behind the reporter? Wasn't that from the 14th or 15th? This is so scary. My word. He went back. Drea says, he really messed up big time. What will his defense be on all this? Multiple screw-ups, huge mistakes. And yet he's so overconfident, being like, I believe I will be exonerated. I know, right? Algo, classic, revisiting the crime scene. So that might actually have been him with behind that reporter, not on this day, but he might have gone back again. Yes. Okay, continuing on. I'm looking at this. Sorry, what now? Okay, the 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of the Kohberger residence and arriving to the area at 9:32. Below is a depiction not to scale of the possible route taken based off of cellular site locations. We'll get another little dark map, but at least they show us like this. This is a possible route based off of the cellular device locations. Okay, so from... Don't worry, I'll do map time at some point. I just want to read through this and see today's arraignment updates. Then I want to figure all this out. Like, damn, look at this route you took, it seems. Thank you, Rebecca. That's what I thought. Yes. Ah, yes. Jason Jensen, welcome. You say he returned to search for his sheath. Probably yes. If you guys don't know who Jason Jensen is, he's a PI. If that is you, Jason, in the chat right now. Private investigator. You may have seen him on Court TV. He worked the Moab double murder case. So yeah, welcome to the chat, and saying he returned to search for his sheath. He left it right there. Wow. Investigators, so now we're on page 16, you guys, of 19. Investigators found that the 8458 phone did connect to a cell phone tower that provides service to Moscow on November 14, 2022. But investigators do not believe the 8458 phone was in Moscow on that date. The 8458 phone has not connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Based on my training, experience, and the facts of the investigation thus far, I believe that Kohberger, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely the driver of the white Elantra that is observed departing Pullman, Washington, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. That's what I just read, Mary. And Nubian Max says, this is why Pop said people were cleared too soon. I get it. Okay, so additionally, the route of travel of the 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. is consistent with Kohberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at the King Road residence. Jesse says, do you think it was possible he left that front door open when he went back? I don't know, because he didn't go back in the house. But maybe. That is so scary. I don't know what, if he just did a drive-by or what happened there. Oh my goodness, this is just very... On December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant for Kohberger's historical CSLI from June 23rd, 2022 to current prospective location information and a pen register or trap and trace on the 8458 phone to aid in efforts to determine if Kohberger stalked any of the victims, in this case, prior to the offense, conducted surveillance on the King Road residence, was in contact with any of the victims' associates before or after the alleged offense, any locations that may contain evidence of the murders that occurred on November 13th, 2022, the location of the white Elantra registered to Kohberger, as well as the location of Kohberger. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received historical records for the 8458 phone from AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting with Cast SA, I was able to determine estimated locations for the 8458 phone from June 2022 to present, the time period authorized by the court. And thankfully also the time period in which he moved there around June, right? Thanks, Lissa. If you can email me that. If anyone wants to email me, it's grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Okay, now let's look at this historical data. The records show, wait, the records for, okay. They were able to determine the estimated locations, right? The records for the 8458 phone show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to the area of 112 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th, 2022. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. Now that is exactly what John Kelly said when he was on the show. I know we all expect it's like the wooded area and maybe driving up to the house and stalking the house, but there it is in writing, like at least 12 times he's going there. Whoa. On one of these occasions, on August 21st, 2022, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources providing coverage to the King Road residence from approximately 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m., Kohberger was stopped by Latah County Sheriff's Deputy CPL Duke, as mentioned above. The 8548 phone was utilizing cellular resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time. Farm Road and Pullman Highway. That's the seatbelt one. Further analysis of the cellular data provided showed that the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 2022, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho, via the U.S. Highway 195. At approximately 12:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand, located at 810 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef's store, located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, Washington, and adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe, showed a white Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 drive past Kate's Cup of Joe at a time consistent with the cell data from the 8548 phone. Nancy said he probably figured when someone saw him, he thought they'd call 911 right away. And since they didn't, he wondered why it wasn't all over the news. He had to go back and check. Oh, that too as well. Yeah, could be that. Yeah. Susie Glue says, this is just the probable cause. I'm sure there's so much more. I agree. This is supposed to be like underwhelming, but yet we're like, what? This is crazy. At approximately 12:46 p.m., the 8458 phone then utilized cellular data in the area of the Albertsons grocery store at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. I just want to see again which date this was. Oh, November 13th. Okay. Is this him like building alibis or what's going on here? 12:36 p.m., November 13th. So he goes for coffee, U.S. Chef store, 12:46 p.m. Okay. He then goes to the Albertsons grocery store at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage obtained from the Albertsons showed Kohberger exit the white Elantra, consistent with suspect vehicle 1, at approximately 12:49 p.m. Interior surveillance cameras showed Kohberger walk through the store, purchase unknown items at the checkout, and leave at approximately 1:04 p.m. Kohberger's possible path of travel is depicted below, not to scale. Okay, so we still got to map all that out. Additional analysis of records for the 8458 phone indicated that between approximately 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m., the 8458 phone utilized cell resources that provide coverage to Johnson ID. The 8458 phone then stops reporting to the network from approximately 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. That is consistent with the 8458 phone being in the area that the 8458 phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspected time the homicides occurred. On December 27, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohberger family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28, 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of the suspect profile. Sorry, what now? At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. I just want to read this again for myself. Sorry, when I pause every now and then. So they looked through the trash. The DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the father. I just want to see what you guys say about this. Yeah, the person in the house was linked, exactly. I'm just like, sorry, what now? Here we go. Hope says, they are saying that the person in the house was linked to the DNA profile. Okay, yes. Agreed. Based on the information, I'm requesting an arrest warrant to be issued for Bryan C. Kohberger. So remember they said they had genealogy technology and the DNA and everything to catch this guy. So they looked through the trash. They found the dad's DNA and it was matching to Bryan C. Kohberger's, that it's genetically linked, right? Based on the information above, I'm requesting an arrest warrant to be issued for Bryan C. Kohberger, date of birth 11/21/1994, for burglary at 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho, and 4 counts of murder in the first degree for the murders of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. I declare, under penalty of perjury, pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho, that the foregoing is true and correct. 12/29/2022, affiant. Well, Michelle says, well, my brain is on overload. Even me. Yeah, so packed. Yes, link to the father, match to BK. The only person who should be judged is Burger Boy. Sure. Well, again, I want to thank the docket for getting us this document like straight from the courthouse. It was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to show you guys quickly something here. And then I want to show you all these Twitter updates. I'm sure there's a lot happening. What's the time? Yeah, 6, so 7. Oh. The time now. I think he's already had his arraignment, right? We're going to look at the updates now because there were going to be no live streams from in the courtroom or anything, but afterwards they said they're going to post all the videos and we should be right on time for that. If the roommate saw him in the house at 4 a.m., why was the 911 call the next day? I don't know. I don't know. There must be so much, right? Can you guys still see me? That was heavy. Okay, so what I want to do is take this off. Okay, we're going to close that for now, but we can always look at it again. Here we go. Okay, so this is the docket. Go and follow him on Twitter at ChasingPaper89. I'll make sure to link it. And if you want to say thank you to him for he's been in the VIP lounge just about waiting for this document since many days ago. So good job to him for getting that for us. He's a Grizzly document hunter. You can buy him a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/the docket. Thank you so much to the docket and Grizzlies. I hope you'll show him some love. I have to follow my lead. Yes, indeed. I do like that. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Stay safe. And mods, thank you so much again.